You're watching the greatest television show in history, other than The Apprentice, Liquid Lunch on NEWSMAX TV.
You're watching Liquid Lunch on NEWSMAX TV. I'm Frank Morano, sitting in for John Tabacco, joined by our co-host for the day, the whistleblower. We are very fortunate to have somebody who is such a big newsmaker here with us, and he's giving his take on the news as it unfolds. How are you doing over there, whistleblower? Very good. And our sports analyst, Nico Romano. Nico, fascinating story took place a week ago out on Long Island. The Plainage Red Devils extended their winning streak over the Southside Cyclones.
Right.
And something odd happened. Apparently, the winning coach was suspended. What exactly happened here?
This is weird. Now, the score of that game was 61-13. And here's the rule that he broke. I'll read it to you. The rule mandates that the coach of a team that wins more than 42 points must submit in writing the lengths to which they went to avoid running up the score. If the committee, and there's a lopsided committee, I can't believe there is such a thing, if the committee determines the coach acted appropriately, there is no suspension. Now, this coach, who won the game 61-13, should be applauded for his efforts, for his team's efforts. He got suspended because he broke the rule and did not pull his starters out quickly enough, which, in my opinion, is absolutely absurd.
Well, I mean, that could be your opinion, but the rules are the rules. I mean, he's coaching a high school football team knowing the rules of the league. So if the coach violated the rules that the league has in place, why shouldn't he be suspended?
Well, here's the thing, Frank. I come from a background in football. I come from a football family. I've had multiple coaches over the years. Never once in any level, high school, Pop Warner, have my coaches been reluctant to take their foot off the gas pedal. Now, I get it. You want to promote sportsmanship. That's fine.
Well, and give kids an opportunity to get in the game that normally wouldn't.
Exactly. But here's the thing about this. These teams were both undefeated, and it was one of the last games of the season. So you want to run up that score. You want to make sure, because anything could happen in a football game, one little play, one last second play that can change the whole momentum of the game. You want to completely avoid that from happening.
But one last second play is not going to cause 35 points.
Not last second play, I'm sorry, but an abrupt play in the middle of the game, beginning of the game, that could change the momentum of it.
But so your point is you don't like the rule, so the league shouldn't adhere to it?
No, I'm saying that I think this coach should not be suspended for doing such a great job while beating an undefeated team.
But he did violate the rule, right?
He did violate the rule, yes.
So
but here's exactly what he broke. They didn't like, the lopsided committee didn't like the fact that his answer to keeping his starters in was that I didn't see anything wrong with the game. That was his answer. He did not give a detailed explanation to why he wanted to leave these players in. Now, that, to me, is crazy, because when these students, when these student athletes, rather, are going to the next level, which is college, there are teams in college that win 70-3, and the starters don't get pulled. Well, sometimes they do, but still, they have to get used to it. Yes, I completely am all for getting the second stringers in and promoting, sportsmanship, but to win an undefeated game, why suspend the coach? That's my take.
Well, they're saying it was because he violated the rule. But do other communities outside Nassau County have similar policies to avoid lopsided?
And this has been around, and it's all different. This has been around for a long time. When I was in Pop Warner, I was 7 years old. From 7 to 12 years old, the rule was if you were up by 27, you had to put the second stringers in. And you actually had to have at least every player on the roster play at least a down or two downs.
It strikes me as a little silly that they would suspend a coach for winning a game, even if it is lopsided. He did violate the rule, though. If he doesn't like the rule, he should work to change it. I think a more appropriate punishment would have been a formal reprimand rather than a suspension.
Well, we have a referee in here. What do you think, whistleblower?
Very quickly, though, I want to bring some breaking news, and we'll get into it with our politics panel next hour. By the way, former New York City public advocate Mark Green is going to join us next. We'll get his take on Mike Bloomberg jumping into the presidential race. So breaking news just within the last couple of minutes. The House has released transcripts of interviews with Alexander Vindman and Fiona Hill. Now, Vindman was the National Security Council's top Ukraine expert. He was the first White House official who listened to the phone call between President Trump and the Ukraine's president to testify in the impeachment inquiry. And just to be clear, whistleblower, you are not Alexander Vindman. Gotcha. Okay. Well, so lo and behold, that's the case. All right. A little bit later, we're going to chat with Kristen Davis, get an update on what's happening with the Roger Stone trial, and we'll find out what news Megyn Kelly is making with respect to the Epstein trial. I know you normally do picks on Thursday or Friday, and we're not doing formal picks, but is there any surefire way to win money that you can give football fans this weekend?
Actually, you know what, Frank? I wanted to start doing Parlay of the Day, and that's actually going to start coming out next week. So I'm going to keep our fans
You can't tell us
anxiously
one
waiting
game to bet on.
Not yet. No.
All right.
I
Well,
don't
there
have
you
anything
go.
yet.
Nico
Next
Romano,
week.
as always, check him out next week here on Liquid Lunch TV. The Whistleblower is here. I'm Frank Morano. Coming up next, we'll talk with Mark Green. You're watching Liquid Lunch on NEWSMAX TV.